Okay, so we have to thank our sponsors. Today's shiur and the food is sponsored for a refuah shalema Bechor ben Lisa and a le'ilui neshama of Berta ben Rachel and Gabriel ben Sarah. Today's sponsorship is a little extra bonus. Somebody couldn't be here, so in their absence, they said if I can't be there in the shiur, so at least want to have a partnership to the shiur. So he said, I'm going to sponsor the shiur. At least I have something to do with the shiur, which is a very big level, and we miss his being here, but we're very happy he was able to feed our neshama, feed our stomachs, and his presence is here. So you know who you are. Thank you. This week's parasha, every parasha is amazing, but this week's parasha separates the boys from the men. And not just in the parasha, but for us also. Because whatever goes on in the parasha happens for us also. And the parasha is Parasha Shlach. It opens up with the Meraglim. Just quick, very, very small summary. We're about to go into Eretz Yisrael. Moshe Rabbeinu says, let's pick one guy from each tribe. We're going to pick the creme de la creme, the top dog in each tribe. And they're going to go into Eretz Yisrael. They're going to spy out the land. They're going to come back, give an awesome report. Everyone's going to be so excited. We'll go in. And unfortunately, it didn't happen that way. They came back and they didn't have such good things to talk about. And as a result, Klal Yisrael, it's really, what could have been a huge simcha became a huge tragedy. Because it says when the Meraglim came back and they said all the bad stuff on Eretz Yisrael, so we started crying. Klal Yisrael started crying like crazy. And that night was Tisha B'Av. And Hashem said, are you going to cry in Tisha B'Av for nothing? I'll give you what to cry about. And we know Tisha B'Av to this very day is still a terrible, difficult day. But in Eretz Hashem, again, it'll become another, in the future, hopefully this year already, Tisha B'Av will be one of the biggest Yom Tovim. However, let's go back. Moshe Rabbeinu picked these 12 guys and said, these are the guys. Now remember, Moshe Rabbeinu's goal, he had one thing he begged and pleaded from Hashem from. Let me go into Eretz Yisrael. I made a mistake, I hit the rock. Hashem said, you can't go into Israel. Rest assured, Moshe Rabbeinu's goal was to get there. And if I can get there, Klal Yisrael better get there. So when he picked these 12 guys, these Meraglim, it says he picked the best guy. These aren't just some dudes. He picked the best guy from each shevet to go and to represent him. And he gave them a route. You go up like this, and you look at this place, and you look at that place, and come back and tell us what you see. And they came back and they said, it's terrible. Everything about that place was awful. And Moshe Rabbeinu was totally caught off guard. This was not the plan. The plan was to hype us up and let's go, let's be excited. But the Torah tells us, Rashi tells us, you know what happened? The Meraglim, you know why they came back with a bad report? Because that's what they planned on doing. What do you mean? We just said Moshe picked the top guys. That was it. Number one, valedictorian, right? You're the best. You're each shevet. Give us the top. And those top guys came back and totally butchered it. They said, no, it's not good. Don't go. That was their intention the whole time. Meaning, when they went into Eretz Yisrael, they said, we're coming out with a negative report. So why would they do that? They had to know Moshe Rabbeinu was in love with Eretz. Hashem said, this is the best place in the world, the best place on earth, even better than Disneyland. It's Eretz Yisrael is the place you want to be. I'm telling you, I'm going to hook it up. And they came back and said, no. Why? Because they were afraid of change. Simple. In the desert, in the Midbar, we had the man. Literally magical food that fell out of the sky and tasted like anything you wanted, and you never needed to go to the bathroom. And our clothes never wore out, never got dirty, never ripped, grew with us. Right? I don't care how much you play for your Yeezys or your Supreme or whatever Gucci you got, they haven't figured that magic out yet. The clothes literally grew with you and never got worn out. always in fashion, always looked fresh. And there was a bear, there was a well that never ran out of water. You just drink. Just keep going. And they said, I'm not willing to give this up. I don't care. Moshe Rabbeinu said it's the best land. Hashem said it's the best land. You know what's going to happen when we go to Israel? The well dries up, the month stops falling, and I got to buy a new pair of clothes. I don't want that. Thank you, Hashem. No, thank you. So they're going to Eretz Israel and said, we're going to come back and we're going to tell deals off. We're not interested. They're afraid to grow up. They're afraid to actually put in the effort. Because I'm so used to what I have, I don't want to push myself outside of my comfort zone. I'm afraid of what's going to be if I actually step up. If I actually take that move and man up into Eretz Yisrael, I have to do something hard. I have to work. I have to earn what I get. Now I'm going to take Easy Street. Easy Street always ends with a dead end. Never continues. Comes Kalev. Kalev and Yeshua say, nah, we got a different plan. So, Kalev even more than Yeshua. We could talk about why later. But Kalev comes, he says, this is not going to work for me. I mean, the Kalev is the one, he gets up and he says, shh. Guys, because you really, I'll tell you how bad it was. And instead of going into the tyrant of how bad it was, he told how good it was. And the pasuk in the Torah even tells us, when it talks about Kalev, it says, "V'avdi Kalev, ekev hayta ruach acheret imo, v'yimale acharai." Kalev had there was something different about him. He acted differently. He didn't fall into the trap of the guys. And Rashi tells us on that pasuk right there, ruach acheret, with a different flavor, a different goal. It says, "Shtei ruchot, achad b'peh v'achad b'lev." Kalev went in the same way with the Meraglim went in with a plan. We're going to mess this up. We're going to say cancel. Abort mission. Kalev also went in with a plan. And he understood what they wanted to do. He said, my plan is like this. I'm going to speak one way, but my heart is connected. It says that when we serve Hashem with our heart, when we say Shema, B'chol levavcha. So the Gemara asks, why does it say levavcha? Lamed bet chaf. B'chol levcha. With all your heart, lamed bet chaf. It's just because with your heart, you're able to serve Hashem with two different feelings. Meaning, the Yetzer Tov, obviously we serve Hashem with the Yetzer Tov, but also the Yetzer Hara. We can serve Hashem with the Yetzer Hara. Not only that, it says, by the way, it says on Friday night we make Kiddush, right? The Pasuk says, Vayal Elokim et kol asher asa v'hinei tov me'od. Hashem saw everything that He's made, and it was really good. Tov me'od. Every day it says Hashem saw the day was good. What? On Yom Shishi. Right before Vayhiyar Vayboger, that's the end of that pasuk. Vayal Elokim et kol asher asa v'hinei tov me'od Vayhiyar Vayboger Yom Shishi. What was Tov me'od? So the Gemara says Tov is the Yetzer Tov. Me'od? Really good? That's the Yetzer Hara. You can serve Hashem really well with the Yetzer Tov. But you can serve Hashem amazingly when you pull the Yetzer Hara into your good avodah. Kalev said, you know what we're going to do? I'm going to use my Yetzer Tov to overcome my Yetzer Hara. Not negate it, not push it away, not destroy it. I'm going to turn my Yetzer Hara into fuel for my Yetzer Tov. Every midah that we have, every aspect of who we are, you used to think is negative, we could use it in the positive. Azut is like a brazenness, a little chutzpah. But there's a concept called azut the kedusha, a holy chutzpah. You have a passion, a fire. You don't like when you see people getting, right, people, it's the principle of the matter, right? We all know those people, the principle of the matter. It's the principle of the matter. So stand up for kavod harav. You see somebody embarrassing a rav, stand up. Every nekuda that we have that could be negative, could be positive, if channeled the right way. Kalev stood up and said, I have a ruach acheret, the pasuk says, because he said, I'm going to stand up. I'm going to pretend that I'm on their side, and I'm going to switch it up. Bait and switch. He gets up and he quiets down the entire Bnei Israel and says, I'll tell you what I saw. And they all thought that, yeah, listen to him, he's going to tell you. And he said, it's amazing, it's beautiful, and you're idiots if you don't go. So right away they said, shit, you're crazy, you're a lunatic, don't listen to him. Kalev and Yeshua represent standing up when you know something's right. But you know what that also means? It means I'm willing to go into Eretz Yisrael, even though it may appear to be more difficult to me. But Hashem told me it's going to be better. So I'm going to trust in Hashem instead of trusting myself. What was is easy. Who I used to be is easy. Who I want to be means I'm going to have to do something different. Who I want to be, who I should be, who I could be means I'm going to have to do something that's a little bit uncomfortable. It's going to take work and time and effort and energy. One of the guys from our shiur called me this week, and he said, on his own, totally out of the blue. He said, Rabbi, I want to work on being more positive. I'm not such a positive person. How do I work on being more positive? That's unbelievable. That's not an easy thing to do, and he knew it was going to be work. But he said, what are the steps to get there? Kalev tells us that's what we have to do. We have to find that area that we need to improve in, and even if it's going to be uncomfortable and hard and difficult, we have to do it. We have to push ourselves. Which is why I heard a beautiful idea today, and it was so perfect. A beautiful idea I heard today. It says when Moshe Rabbeinu sends the Meraglim, so he tells them exactly what he wants them to do. It wasn't like just go check it out. He mapped out for them, right? Ways. He showed them exactly how to go up and about, and he even told them not only how to go around, but he said, this is what I'm looking for. I want to know, it says over here, is the land good or is it bad? And are there mountains? Are there cities? Are there walled cities? Are they fertile? Are they not? Are there trees? Are they not? Tell me about everything. So he says over here, each time he points out what he's looking for, he tells them the opposite. He says over here, for example, Harafa Hama'at Hu Imrav. Are there a few of them or are there a lot of them? Is it fortified or is it not fortified? And he's listing off everything, and he's telling them exactly what to look for, how to find it. This versus this. There's one time he leaves out the comparison. He says, are they strong? Not, or are they weak? He says, also let me know the strong and the weak. And the idea I heard today was, sometimes what we think appears to be strong is actually the weak one. I mean, it's easy to look like we're really, really macho. Yeah, I'm comfortable. Yeah, I own this place. But you've never pushed yourself. So you're really so strong? That person's weak. And we say in Pirkei Avot, Ezu HaGibor, who is a strong one? HaKofesh es Yitzro. The guy who conquers his desire. When you push yourself, when you know something's uncomfortable, and you say, I'm going to go for it anyways. And that's when we succeed. Moshe Rabbeinu chose these 12 guys because he thought these are going to be the guys who are going to go. Let's go. We're going to own this. We're going to love this. This is the place to be. And they came back. But unfortunately, they chose the easy route. Kalev and Yeshua say, no. That's not what it means. Which is why the next time we have Meraglim, Yeshua's in charge. Who's he pick? Kalev. He picks Kalev again. And instead of picking 12, he can't pick 2. He said, Kalev, you know how to do this. You know how to push yourself. You know how to fight. You got to be the spy again. So the same thing by us. When we're learning the parsha, it means we're learning it ourselves also. We're all here to grow. That's why we're here. That's why we're here, and that's why we're here. To grow. We're pushing ourselves. It's not always easy to come out to learn. Some guys are working on this mitzvah, some guys are working on this midah. The idea is to grow, is to push ourselves out of our comfort zone. To say, even though I may lose my man, even though I may lose the be'er mayim, even though I may lose the ananei kavod, I'm still going for it. Because it's not about being comfortable. It's not about looking like I'm the big tough guy. It's about really growing and changing. It's about pushing yourself to get to Eretz Yisrael, because that's where it's Hashem's promise is that you're going to really benefit. When you push yourself, when you go out of your comfort zone, when you trust that I'm telling you this is the right path. How appropriate is it that the parasha finishes off, that the Meraglim is the story in the beginning of the parasha. The story at the end of the parasha is the parasha of Tzitzit. When you surround yourself, the beauty of mitzvah of Tzitzit is literally it surrounds you. When you surround yourselves with mitzvot, we all know the Tzitzit or Meruma is the hint of all the mitzvot in the Torah. When you surround yourself with good, with positivity, so then you're fortified. It's a protection. You can go and you can stand up against the Yetzer Hara. You can take the Yetzer Hara and force him to do the will of the Yetzer Tov. That's what it says. The Yetzer Tov is Murumas with the word Tov. Tov is Yetzer Tov. Tov me'od, really good. That's only when the Yetzer Hara is involved. What do you mean? The Yetzer Hara involved? That's when I mess up. That's when I stumble. That's when I mean to learn that I don't even open the book because there's a crazy video on YouTube I had to watch. And then 5 more. Right? What do you mean the Yetzer Hara? When you make the Yetzer Hara part of your game, you manipulate him. You go like Caleb, say, hey, I have 2 plans. Right? So I'm not telling you don't purposely use the Yetzer Hara, right? Because you don't put yourself in a situation that we're not sure we can win. But if he comes, you fool him into playing your game. You trick him and say, I'm going to use your energy, your negativity, and I'm going to turn it into positivity. I have a midah that I don't like, I'm going to figure out how to use that in a positive way. They say a story about a tzaddik. I think it was the Kedushat Levi's father-in-law. So he was a very, very, very wealthy man. However, at the same time, he was very, very, very stingy. He wasn't able to give tzedakah so easily. But he knew the only purpose of my wealth is so I can help others also. So it's very simple. Or probably not so simple for him. He took a lot of money and he put it into a bag. And when somebody would come and knock on the door for tzedakah, he would say, come in. He would open up the bag. He'd turn away, close his eyes and say, take what you need and go. He says, if I'm not able to actually give, I'm going to do whatever I can to make sure the guy gets my money, though. When it's difficult, it's not a way to run away from. It's our job to figure out, how do I force myself into it? How do I push myself past? Kalev teaches us that you're able to do it even when the majority is telling you you're wrong and you're crazy and you don't know what you're talking about. So it's important to make sure you know what you're talking about. Somebody's telling you you're doing the right thing. But 10 out of 12 said no. Kalev and Yeshua were able to say, we know this is right. This is what Moshe wants us to do. This is what Hashem wants us to do. Even the majority rules, not now. Not today. The Yetzer Hara, you're going to work for me. You're going to be my Eved. My bracha to all of us. It's not like at the end of the parasha we're surrounded by tzitzit. We have to surround ourselves with good. With people who are good, with situations that are good, with conversations that are good. When we do that, that gives us the strength that we find that Kalev has at the beginning of the parasha. To be able to say, I'm taking on everyone, because I know what the Torah wants, I know what Hashem wants, I know what I could do. I know who we could be. So even though you tell me I'm crazy, and even though you want to shoot me down, even though you tell me it's easier just to chill, relax. Moshe says, when you go to Eretz Yisrael, check. The strong ones are weak. Make sure you know what your strength is. Make sure you know what you're really going to get. That way when you come out, when you have a report, when you have something to show off, at least let us be showing off the right things. Go in with the idea, I'm going to be successful no matter what's dealt to me. And like that, we're able to really be strong. We're able to conquer our Yetzar and use it to Tov. We'll all be able to do that, to strengthen each other and strengthen ourselves to connect to Hashem even more.
Amen.